Hey guys, welcome back to Powerstroke Boys. It's currently November 1st. Hopefully you guys had a good Halloween. Beautiful out here. Leaves are turning colors. It's getting cooler. That means I like to be outside working more. It's not so hot. But anyways, you guys are looking at a trailer. You guys are going to see in this video that went ahead, painted the wheels, repacked the bearings, rewired it, put new LEDs on. Did all this for a family member. This is actually their Christmas gift I ended up giving to them. So hopefully they like it. Now, since I've recorded all this footage, a couple of events has happened. So I'll explain all that here in a second. But I've used this trailer to haul the Polaris, a dirt bike, garbage, things like that. So I've used this trailer plenty of times. So it's got scratch, it's got some dings since you guys are going to see this video put together. So again, it's a trailer, it's going to get used. But from where it started, it's a very big upgrade. This is actually the good side. The bad side is actually that other side. So long story short, like I said, did this for a family member. I didn't want to come out of pocket anything but my time. And the family member that owns this gave me the permission to put the fenders on it, which we custom made those. You guys will see later in the video. It's actually a funny story on that. Went ahead, rewired the entire thing, put new side marker lights, put these LED lights in the back. Again, rewired the entire thing. We put these up here. Obviously, it's dirty right now. We've been using it. And then also they had a new spare jack. Went ahead, threw that on, greased that up. You guys can see new wiring, plastic eyelets to hold it all the way around. So this tire, so a little backstory on this. It actually used to be a pop-up camper. You know, the ones that have the bottom half and the top half raises up. This was actually stripped of the camper components, obviously, and then the metal frame was here. The family member was giving it to them by another family member, and then, you know, now it sits here, and I went ahead, cleaned it up, painted it, and I can use it whenever I want, obviously. But the tires on this were crappy. I got it back here. I used it a couple times. I knew they were dry rotted, which they were. And, you know, after all this time and labor, putting the fenders on it, painting it, I was actually going on the highway one day to go pick up an LS engine that I got for free, and ended up flipping that on Marketplace. By the time you guys see this, it's been long gone and sold, so don't ask me. This tire decided to explode. And the funny thing is, I actually have a camera system in my truck, so we'll go ahead and fast forward to that footage now. So you guys see me being ignorant and knowing the tires were dry rotted, but the tread were still good. You know, they were at good adequate air pressure. They weren't overinflated. The one tire decided to give out. Luckily, it happened right as soon as I was getting on the highway, not next to somebody, or, you know, having a four-wheeler or having a load on here and it possibly swerving. Anyways, it could always be worse. This fender completely detached itself. Obviously, I went ahead and came home and I fixed it that same day. The welds are kind of garbage. This one's still kind of scuffed up, but really, again, from what these fenders are made out of, again, you'll see it later in the video. Just please have some patience hanging there. These things held up very, very good. Obviously, they're not boxed in the frame, and them being custom made, you know, they're still kind of beat up a little bit. And this light actually survived. From the footage, you guys will look, this thing was dangling down. We got some moisture in it, but I went ahead and just taped it up for right now. And hey, it still works. The wiring's still good. And again, the welds aren't pretty since I had to fix it, but they're on there. It's got new tie down points. Went ahead, repainted it, repacked the bearings with new grease. Went ahead, painted the wheels. Obviously that one's white because that's the only spare I had to get me back home at the time. So we still gotta get new tires for this thing. Other than that, the trailer still works. Lights work, running lights work. It's a good little trailer. It's 6 by 10 long, deck wise. So other than that, it's not a bad little trailer. Other than that, let's go ahead and fast forward to the video. I'm recording this intro because some of the footage I had originally when I was recording this, explaining everything, it got lost. So I'm out here explaining it, showing you guys the overall. Now we're gonna go ahead and fast forward to me painting it, wiring it, things like that. Also, I figured I'd throw this in here, why not? Since that fender blew off, luckily it didn't do any damage to my truck, no scratches, nothing like that. I got lucky. Tire blowing out on the work trailer to my truck getting sideswiped. Yep, it got hit. Doesn't look as bad in camera, but in person, yeah. Was coming home one night from getting some parts, and luckily I had the window up, obviously. You guys will see the dash camera footage here in a couple seconds. A 4500 Ram decided to come over, hit my mirror, exploded, scratched my truck all up. Obviously the mirror is toasted. You guys can see the windows all scratched. If you guys don't ever follow me, make sure you guys follow me at Powerstroke Boys over on Instagram. It scratched all this. There's scratches here. There's a dent here now. There's a dent there. Goes all the way down the side of the bed. Scratches there. Keeps going. Scratches there, there. Also, there's a big scratch there. So, oh, there's another one there. Another one there. Yeah, it's basically the entire length of the truck. And he was doing every bit of 50, 55 probably. So yeah, it's unfortunate. So the truck is SOL at the moment. It's currently parked. I have a rental and we have to get this to the body shop. It actually just got looked at by the appraiser yesterday. So far they've quoted me $3,000 in damage, but that's for the insurance quote. Now I have to get it to the body shop and I have to get them to quote it. And obviously you guys see I'm on my stock 17-inch Steelies. I went ahead and I sold my 20x10s. More on that later. A lot has happened off camera. I don't really explain, so I'm giving you guys a little insight on what's going on with the truck and projects. But other than that, that's an update on the truck. Oh yeah, also make sure you guys subscribe because I might or might have not have bought some bigger injectors for this thing. I'm just letting you know. So let's go ahead and get back to the footage. All right, you guys, the beautiful next day. You can see we got the one fender hung. That's when I saw. Went ahead and put that brace in last night. I'm gonna go ahead and take the wheels off when we're done. We're gonna weld the inside, but for right now, it's good. We need to go ahead and get this fender done. These are 2 spares that I have, so if anybody decides to hit this thing, look, I got a spare set of fenders. Same thing on that side. Using the exact same 2x4, act as a spacer. We'll make sure this thing is even, side to side. We'll put a tack on it. Get those tacked in both corners, come back, put this bracer bar in the back. We'll get those fully welded up, and then we'll be able to paint this thing, pull the wheels off, put on some jack stands, paint it, rewire it, and then basically it's done. So let's keep going. All right, you guys, trailer is ready and prepped for paint. All I got to do is just blow it off with the air gun and get all the sanding dust off. Both fenders are hung. I went ahead and ground the welds on the top of those braces just so if someone just happens to skim their hand across it or something, it's not bad, so they're nice and smooth. I'm not going to show you the welds because I never claimed to be a welder, and it's been months. Been quite a few months since I've laid my hand on my own welder, and still dialing that machine in. I've maybe got 5 hours on it, but anyways, the fenders are nice and solid. I was able to take both wheels off. As you guys can see, we only have 2 of the 5 lug nuts on each wheel because I took the wheels off to weld the inside of these braces. They didn't need it, but I'd rather just have it, and it was right there. And it was a good test to see if we get the wheel off, and I literally was able to pull the wheel straight off, no problem. And honestly, I kind of like the silver, but it's too shiny. I'm more worried about someone, you know, like a motorcycle or a bicyclist, or even somebody coming up in a car. You can already see how bright it is here of it just shining in somebody's face. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave them the color they are, I believe, and I'm just going to go ahead and hit them with the sander again. But other than that, I'm going to go ahead and just sand these down, rough them up so they're just like a matte finish. I'm going to go ahead and paint it. Oh no, someone stole the trailer. Oh no, it's right over there. So I went ahead, blew the driveway off, put all the tools away. I went ahead and I sanded those fenders. I'm going to go ahead and just paint them black. Keep it all simple. I'm going to be doing here in the front yard. I want to go ahead and put it on jack stands, 2 back corners, and then up in the tongue, so we can suspend it in the air, get the wheels off. I want to paint the inside. Sometimes you just got to put a little effort and time into things, and yeah, you might not get, you know, a money sign out of it, but you get some gratification that you did the work, you can use it, and anytime I go to use this trailer, if anybody else uses it, I can look at it and say, dang, I did that. That looks good. This is what it was. This is what it is now. And I can put some pride and joy behind my word and be like, yeah, that's my work. So anyways, let's go ahead, get the other compressor fired up. When you go ahead and mix some paint up, I'm just going to be using some gloss black spray paint, or gloss black paint that I have in a can. So I'll see how much I have of that. I might have to go get a can. So let me go see what I have. We'll be right back. All right, you guys. So we have 2 cans of paint. This I used a couple years ago to paint an equipment trailer that I had. And I brushed this stuff on. It was a 7x20 equipment trailer, and this stuff cures wonderfully. I even use this to paint my gooseneck kitch up underneath my truck. You're supposed to use the hardener that works with this stuff, but I'm not driving across town for a $20 bottle when you only need a half pint. Basically, it cures up, it makes it cure quicker, makes it more glossier. But I'm like, it's a freaking trailer, it's a piece of crap until now. So we're literally just gonna see if we can spray it. Got the regulator set at 75 psi, and you guys can see it looks pretty thin enough to shoot out of the gun. So we're just gonna wing it, gonna pour out of this hole, and really, the trailer, it's gonna get used, gonna get scratched. All right, you guys, well, unexpected plans sometimes have unexpected results that just end up working. So I've got the nozzle shut all the way. I don't have the fan spread wide open because I don't have any reducer or catalyst, hardener, whatever you wanna call it, to thin this out to make it a more uniform pattern, to spray more of a spray instead of a, you know, a pinpoint mist. And you guys can see I'm doing some test pieces, and it's actually laying out like bed liner, which is actually really cool. And you guys can see this is 2 coats over the fender with the nozzle all the way shut, just whipping it back and forth just like a TIG gun or a TIG torch. And you guys can see how uniform that is. It's like coming out like a bed liner without even being a bed liner. So that's really awesome. So there's a little trick for you. I'll have to keep that in the books. Close your nozzle all the way. All right, you guys, just look how uniform that is coming out. Looking great. Again, this is just paint that I had left over, so I got a good bit in here. I might actually have enough to do the entire outside. I'm glad it's in the sun so the stuff can dry immediately, and it warms the piece up so we're not drying onto a cold surface, so it'll adhere better. And I'm glad we took the time to sand the entire thing. You know, we kind of did a bougie job. It works. And again, here's the before. You can see I got to do the inside, obviously. So there's the front railing. But here it is. This is the finished product. Obviously the wheels are off of it still. It doesn't have any lights on it, and I'm going to end up painting the wheels black. I'm not even going to prep them or anything. I'm just going to shoot some paint on. I've got a little bit left in the gun. Same with that one, but you guys can see it laid down like a bed liner, which is nice. The fenders, nice and dry. So definitely gave this trailer a little update, you know. It's still kind of a POS, but really it's less of a POS now. But look how good this thing turns out. Got a little bird crap on it, but we're gonna ignore that. Went ahead and I painted the wheels black. I didn't do the inside, obviously. Come to find out, the owner actually had a spare jack, so I'm gonna go ahead and swap that. That's gonna make a big difference going from that old metal thing. For not coming out of pocket for everything you guys have seen so far, it's not a bad deal. So I went ahead and reached out to the owner, and they want to go ahead and do some new lighting, which I don't blame them. You know, required by law to have lighting. So went ahead, went to Harbor Freight. All this stuff you guys are looking at was just at 70 bucks. I believe it was like 69 and some change. But we have brand new LED lights. We weren't gonna go with the original square. We wanted to go with this style because we feel like, well, I feel like, this is gonna be a surprise for them, but I felt like this style matched the actual fender shape better because we're gonna end up mounting them right here. These will either go right here on the corner of the trailer, or they would go on the front of the fender, something like that. So, but I'm probably thinking up here somewhat, maybe a little recess, but I'm thinking right here on the edge to have some side marker lights for reference when you guys are towing, so you know what the trailer is on the truck. Because I didn't have enough to go all the way around. I want to put 3 down each side, so we got some more tie-down points, and then we grabbed some new wiring just in case. If not, we can return that. Because this wiring is still good. Again, I chopped the dead end off, but you guys can kind of see it's kind of finagled here. I don't know the condition up underneath the trailer, so I'm gonna go ahead and swap that jack out so it doesn't crush me. Then I'll get up underneath it on the floor jack, look and see if the wiring's usable. If it is, great. If not, okay, we gotta run some new wiring. And then it's got this plastic conduit running all the way down the inside frame of the actual trailer. So that'll be really easy to run new wiring. They have these little grooves here to retain the wires, but I was trying to push them in and the grooves aren't big enough. I took a pair of snips and I just made the recess a little bit bigger right here in the middle, as you guys can see. And I'm gonna lay these out in orderly fashion, and then they'll come out and lay in nice and flat like that, and not getting kinked or gonna be cut or anything like that. I'm gonna take a little black adhesive, black hot glue basically, and I'm going to just put a little dab right here to hold the wire so they come out and they don't chafe against the fender. Alright, you guys, gonna go ahead, run all new wiring. This is actually a piece of PVC. This actually runs the entire length of the stringers up underneath the trailer, and we're simply just gonna run the wires through this. This is basically our conduit, and this will protect it against chafing, anything in the frame or anything like that. You guys can see we also went ahead and got the right hand side light mounted. That's all nice and good. I went ahead and trimmed the studs in the back. You probably can't see it. I'll show you that a little later on. But it's kind of hard to film up underneath the trailer. So again, I'm going to show you now. I'm going to shove the wires through this, feed it back through the frame, and then I'll just run the wires off to the side, and then I should have night of day 3. I'm going to wrap this up. Basically, the entire trailer is done. New lights are installed. Took the wheels off. I trimmed the studs in the back. You guys can see the wiring's all nice and zip tied. I ended up running it through the frame. I'll show you guys tomorrow, but giving you a rough idea. made sure there was no serrations. I went ahead and deburred the holes inside and out. And this is actually box tube. I was really surprised. I thought it was just the L channel. So it makes the trailer even tougher, which is cool. So I went ahead, ran it through the frame, ran it all down this, all the way down the other side. I used that piece of conduit. So you guys can see, came out right there. Had a little extra slack in the yellow, so I just zip tied that up. Just in case we ever, you know, bring to replace the light, or if it gets broken off, we have enough slack to pull some this way. And you guys can see even on this side, all nice and zip tied, trimmed those studs. The wiring comes all the way up. Used the old wire loom, it was still good. I cut the good pieces out I could, went ahead, taped the end, used some new eyelets to hold it, and I still got to get some wire loom tomorrow, so I'm going to go ahead and wire loom the rest of this up. And I like to leave the front of these harnesses pretty long. You guys can see, you know, the ball was on the hitch here for an example, you know, to hook a hard left or a hard right, and you still got plenty of slack regardless if you go left turn or right turn. I'll show you that tomorrow. But usually I got pretty big feet. I wear 13s, so I usually like to leave a full size 13 and then a half, so it gives you guys a rough ballpark of what I like to do. And then I'm just going to run it up through this hole. And again, went ahead, self-tapped it to the frame. I'll be grounding this through the ball instead of through the truck. Right, these are really simple. They're literally a one wire. So the mounting screws actually ground it, then you literally just run this purple wire to a running light wire. So literally we're going to run one wire straight back to the running lights there, one wire on that side to that side. Or even if you really wanted to, you could literally just run one wire to this, one wire to that. It just make an L and parallel it off. But we'll keep it simple. We'll just go to each side. And yeah, so they're going to mount right there. Originally I was going to do on the fender, but again, these are custom-made fenders, and you guys can see the tire clearance is already kind of tight in the front and in the back. So I don't want to put any more obstructions, especially if we put some heavy weight on this, like a pallet of concrete, mulch or something like that, where we compress the actual leaf springs down, and this fender is going to come even closer to the tire. But we have just enough room to get the actual brake light assemblies on. Again, I don't want to add anything else to that. So again, I want to go ahead, mount these here with some simple self-tapping screws. I'll show you guys that really quick. All right, you guys, went ahead, got my hole through the outside and the inside channel. I like to use these 1/8" titanium high-speed drill bits from Harbor Freight. They come in a pack of 4. I have yet to snap one of these in half or break one off. All right, you guys, you went ahead, use a step bit. Now, there's millions of ways you guys can wire these, mount them. But I went ahead and enlarged this hole to 3/8 inside diameter. You guys can see it went all the way through. I did that big enough to get a 12 gauge butt connector. I'm using 12 gauge wire. This is what I have on hand. You don't have to use anything this big, but I want everything to protrude through the frame and mount on the back side. And again, the light's going to go ahead and cover it wherever I just, oh, there it is. So you guys can see the light is going to cover it. You'll never see the hole. And we can always fill that with some silicone or something if we need to. All right, you guys, light is mounted. I ran the wiring all the way through the frame. You guys can see, just went ahead and used those plastic eyelet connectors. And again, I don't have any insulation. I would like to have insulation on this, but, and then we're just gonna tie it in right here. We'll come through the frame, or we'll probably just go on the back side, use another eyelet connector. Well, it's kind of a abrupt ending there, but really wiring lights is very simple. Those kits you get from Harbor Freight, really any type of kit you have has the wiring diagram inside the lights. So I didn't feel like I needed to explain that. It's very easy. You have brown, yellow, white, and black. Very simple trailer colors, especially for a 4-pin flat. They're all the same. But again, you guys saw earlier in the video, this is the finished product. You guys saw how that fender blew off. You saw how my truck got hit. And best of all, also while recording this, if you guys notice, I was using my GoPro and working on a customer's F350. I had to do a brake job, which I'll have a video on that out probably later this week. I ended up crushing my GoPro, and I'll throw a picture up now, and I cracked the back screen. Jeff, I'm just tearing everything up. Usually I'd never have any bad luck like this. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's because it's October. I haven't seen any black cats, but anyways, you guys saw we did the lights, got those on there, went ahead, finished the wire loom up here. Like I mentioned in the video, I did get some more of that. And like I said, I've used this trailer plenty of times. I'm probably gonna get some new tires, try to help the owner out. You know, I gotta put my expense into it because I'm using it. Even though I did all this, I still have to, you know, put my forth into it. So Probably gonna go get some new trailer tires. I don't know if I'll throw it in the video or not. I'm probably gonna go get some cheap ones from a local yard or something like that, but I'm gonna wrap the video up here. It's getting pretty long. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, remember to leave a like, comment, please subscribe. Also, please follow me over on Instagram at Powerstroke Boys if you guys don't already. Tell me what you guys think of the overall trailer. Would you guys done anything different? Should I change anything? Tell me how bad my luck is, and hopefully next year we'll have some better luck. So thanks again for watching, guys. We'll see you in the next video.